Good morning. I am Bob Hardy. Welcome to the Unity of Walnut Creek service this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You can hear everybody in the background. We have people here. Yay!
That's not in the script. My name is Diane Hardy. Welcome to our service and happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you. And thank you to all the fathers out there and the people that are father figures in the audience today and wherever you're watching us. Now that the pandemic is receding in our state, today is the first day we've been able to gather in our sanctuary. Welcome home, everybody. Thank you for being here.
We have seats available inside the sanctuary, and for those of you who prefer being outside, we have seats on the shaded patio. Masks are required when you're indoors. Now that we have congregants with us, Bob, I get to add this friendly reminder that you want to take a moment and make sure that your cell phones are turned off, and also a reminder that the ambient conversations and crowd noise, thank you for that, will also be live streamed along with the rest of the program.
That's right.
So just something to keep in mind.
It'll be really live. That's right. Reverend Kristen is here with us in the sanctuary this morning, of course, with a message titled Reuniting in Divine Light. We look forward to that.
The stream team with us here today includes our technical director, John. Gus is on switch and sound. Charlie's on the camera, and our stage manager today is Danae.
Behind the scenes preparing throughout the week, as always, includes our music directors, Lisa and Tyler, production manager Annie, video editors Peter, Jack, and Shari, and slide design by Diana.
We want to take a moment to acknowledge that the land our center rests upon. This is Ohlone, Bay Miwok, and Yukot land. We honor its ancestry, and we're grateful for those who came before us. We are committed to taking care of these sacred grounds.
We are excited to have all of you back in the sanctuary today, but we're not quite ready for live music. Getting there. So we'll continue having our music on video for the next few weeks. This morning, we are pleased to welcome back our New Thought singer and songwriter, Sue Riley. But before we do that, our music directors, Lisa and Tyler, have prepared a song that you might find very familiar. Let's go there.
Good morning, everybody. We're going to sing a song by Karen Drucker, reminding us that every day we choose what we take in, what we give out. Called Today I Choose. The words are easy, you'll pick up on it real fast. Today I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful. Sing it with me. Today I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, grateful. Let's be peaceful today. I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful today. I choose to be peaceful, peaceful. Let's be joyful today. I choose to be joyful, so joyful today. I choose to be joyful, joyful. Whatever I choose, that's how my day's gonna be. And claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today I choose thankful to be thankful, so thankful today. I choose to be thankful, thankful. Choose to be loving today. I choose to be loving.
Be grateful, grateful.
Well, thank you, Lisa and Tyler. And it's really great to see you on screen and to see you in the audience. How awesome is that? God, this is just fun. Let's take a big breath together and let's choose to ground in unity. Unity is our positive path for spiritual living. Our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness. Our mission is who we have come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
If you are with us for the first time, welcome. We have a welcome packet for you at the check-in table at the front of the sanctuary, and connection cards are available for everyone. Just click on the Watch Live page of the Unity of Walnut Creek website.
Yes. And you may submit a prayer request, and our prayer chaplains will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information. For these first few weeks, we will not be greeting our neighbors in the sanctuary during the service. We can greet one another as you wish before and after the service, with consideration for comfort levels such as namaste bows, high fives, handshakes, and hugs.
Our classes and events are currently still being held online and by phone via Zoom. Here are a few important announcements and opportunities.
Our children and youth program starts outdoors at 11 a.m.
For those of you who enjoy outdoor worship, next Sunday is the last time you'll have the opportunity to worship at the 9:30 service on the lawn. We invite you to join us next week so that you can experience how good it feels to hear the Sunday message in a beautiful outdoor setting. In July, we will move back all our services inside the sanctuary.
All right, and pre-registration is required for the 9:30 and the 11:30 services for next Sunday, as requested, so we can create a wonderful experience for you. Registration opens today at 1, and the website closes Friday at 3.
If you need help registering for the children's program, the 9:30 service, or the 11:30 service, please call the office before Friday at 3 o'clock p.m., and we'll be happy to help you register. If you missed the registration deadline for these services and you still want to come, please come. We will always make space for you.
Right. We have more reopening news. Unity's bookstore is reopened today. All right, fun. You're invited to visit the bookstore to find the perfect gift for friends or family, or that father in mind. Inspirational items for your home, yoga mats and meditation cushions, and of course, spiritual books.
Ann and Lisa are looking forward to seeing you after the 9:30 and 11:30 services, so be sure and stop by and see the wonderful spiritual items and gifts that they have for sale.
Yeah. And see our website for a full listing and log on information for all of our events. If you're not receiving our weekly e-news, we invite you to use the connection card link on the Watch Live page and sign up.
Following the service today, we invite you to log on to the Zoom about 12:45 for another virtual patio conversation. Prayer chaplains are also available to pray with you confidentially during this time.
You may also wish to discuss Sunday messages and more with your community on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. for the Spiritual Growth Circle.
So let's take a moment now as we move into meditation and ground with our statement of faith. Let's take a deep breath together and settle into our hearts. Take one more deep breath, and please join me. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
We will continue our meditation with music by Sue Riley, followed by guided meditation in silence, and then Kristen will present Reuniting in Divine Light.
quiet in prayer, I open my heart, I open my heart. When I'm quiet in prayer, I open my heart, Alleluia. When I'm quiet in prayer, I let go of fear, I let go of fear. When I'm quiet in prayer, I let go of fear, Alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Alleluia.
Alleluia. Here we sit in our sanctuary. Alleluia for coming home, for gathering together, for being reunited. As we prepare ourselves, the time and the quiet, we let go. Let ourselves really ground together. Whether you are at home or sitting in our sanctuary here, we are here together. Here together in the spirit of the divine. Letting our hearts open to what is right here, right now. Wherever we may be seated, we are connected heart to heart. For those who are seated here, the love returns in the hearts of our people. Spreads throughout this sacred space as the one heartbeat of the divine. The one heartbeat of community. And the one heartbeat inside of all of that that is yours and yours alone. So here we sit together, hearts within hearts within hearts. Divine love all around and in and through us. Let us be quiet in prayer together so we can feel that truth permeates the space, the cells of our bodies. Within our own hearts as the beat of the one love, the one home right now within us. So let's take these few moments in the silence to be with the love and the home in the sanctuary of our own hearts. and deep within your heart now. Begin to hear that distant hallelujah coming closer. Hallelujah. 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 I am home. And so it is.
When I'm quiet in prayer, I see only love. I see only love. When I'm quiet in prayer, I see only love. Alleluia. 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 Alleluia.
Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. Sue Riley here from her home in Florida, joining you virtually on your very exciting day, your first time back in person after the year that we've all shared. Ooh. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to virtually join you as you come back to your beautiful community and your friends. I'd like to thank Reverend Kristen and Lisa and Tyler for the invite and the opportunity. And we know the truth, that all is well when we're together. And here's how that goes.
Coming together to celebrate life, shining like stars in a brilliant night sky, here for each other in joy and in pain. Grateful for this family, spiritual community. The love we share is sunshine after a rain. All is well when we are together. It's greater, stronger, and all is well. When we're together, it feels like home. Kindred spirits, we're never alone. Let's join voices and sing our song. Music is the food of love, and And at this table there's more than enough. In this moment take a breath and sing along. All is well when we are together. We're greater, stronger, and all is well. All is well when we are together. Deeper, kinder, all is well. All is well when we are together. We're deeper, kinder, and all is well. All is well when we are together. We're greater, stronger, and all is well.
Welcome home. All is well. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Your real beautiful faces in these chairs are such a delight. Look around. Wow. So we were setting up the camera and my shoes were too high for the shot. And I said, well, I'll go barefoot. But I love actually going barefoot, especially, a lot of times Spirit will just tell me, just take off your shoes and I'll fight, really? But it is holy ground, right? This is holy, sacred ground. To all of us who feel that heart connection to this community, to all of you who have not yet connected or maybe tuning in, checking us out, we can't wait to invite you back and to welcome you home physically to this space as well. So very much to celebrate, isn't there? I mean, so today is, I'm going to move this around because I'm not used to having you in the sanctuary. It's like, what do I do with stuff? I've had to be like pinned to this spot, right on camera, and bless you all, I'll still try to stay, in my range here. But I really kind of want to move toward each of you and hug you, and I know we're taking it slow. We're going to ask each other, we're going to be respectful of that, but it is just so joyful, isn't it, to reconnect in this way. There's something, as spiritual beings, we really get to know how important the physical experience is as well through a process like this. Just even we were recently at a 8,000 person event at the Oracle Stadium for Pride, Bradley and I, but when we got seated, they had us all, so spread out. But going in, we were all going through these same lines, and we were right up against people. In fact, at one point, we were just sort of like in this mosh pit of people, coming in. And I have to say, just for those few moments, for me, it was comforting. It was like, oh, yeah, my people, humans, like closeness. And then when we were all spread out, it was kind of strange. I didn't feel very connected. So here we are. Anyway, that was not something I planned to share, but who cares, right? So it's Father's Day, it's solstice. Yesterday was Juneteenth, and it's reuniting Unity of Walnut Creek Day. So, man, the celebrations, they just keep coming. So to Father's Day, I have this opening for you. There are three friends, and they were all fathers, of course, and their children lived far away, so they had no one to celebrate Father's Day with. And they said, hey guys, let's go on a road trip. So the three fathers set out, and they were driving across the state, and they drove across the state line in Louisiana, and they saw this sign that said this town was coming up. And the town is spelled a little bit different than how, well, a lot different than how it's pronounced. So what ensued then was this, at first, discussion and then kind of an argument, really, about how you say the name of this town. Now, one guy said it's Natchitoches. Absolutely. And another guy said, no, it's Natchitoches. Natchitoches? The other guy said, no, it's Natchitoches. So they all had these different ideas, and they went on about the pronunciation and the phonetics of it and the background. One of them knew some history about it. So they stopped to eat together. And they go up to the cashier and they say, look, could you settle this for us? We've been just talking about this, all morning. Where are we? And please, when you say it very slowly and articulately. So the cashier says, Burger King. Which makes me want to say, where are we? Unity. Feels good. Better than Burger King. So as we gather here, as we celebrate, as we acknowledge all these things that are happening at the same time, I want to also acknowledge all the preparation that has gotten us to this place. All the volunteers, the staff, this amazing production team. Wow. Yeah. What they have done for all these weeks, I know we've got another one like it next week, like this, in this hybrid adventure that we're on this morning. But man, unbelievable. I mean, I have such sentimental feelings for John's, gosh, I don't know if I can get through this. For all the days and weeks, Sundays that John would show up at our house and bring his whole setup, John Nichols, who's in the back, who would be our video, switch, and sound, and he brought lighting, and we would rearrange our entire living room every morning before he got there. I mean, it's been a journey. It's been a journey to get to this place. And here we are, because of the village that is Unity, because of all of you who have given of your time and your talent and your treasure and your support by tuning in on Sundays or by being here physically to help us get set up for this day, for this moment. So thank you all for the preparations. I could never name everybody, so we'll just say thank you to the community, to the village that is Unity of Walnut Creek. So this is the first day of summer, which marks a time of play. It marks a time of recreation or recreation. Summertime is a time to relax and to play, and we get to, it's never a mistake, right, the day that something falls. So this falls on a day that we get to be in the joy of coming back together. It also falls on the longest day of the year, right? Solstice is the longest day, the most daylight. So we get to bask in the most divine light. So those two factors are really working for us in this process of changing, of emerging, of coming out into community, into marketplace, into being together once again. Online, of course, on Zoom, we have a class going on right now called Metamorphosis. And yes, some of the students in the back, yes. And Metamorphosis is a prosperity class that uses the idea of the butterfly, which, is, of course, that wonderful metaphor that we're going to break down in a few minutes. But first, I want to tell you what metamorphosis is defined as. It is defined as the change of the form or nature of a thing or person into a completely different one by natural or supernatural means. So it's that complete shift, that complete transformation, metamorphosis. Yesterday, as we celebrated reuniting and solstice here on our lawn in our labyrinth, it was really joyful. And what came as we were co-creating this experience was the butterfly idea, this idea of metamorphosis. Actually, I believe it was Michelle who brought that forth, and Michelle really took the lead in our ritual, Michelle Chikala, our youth ministry director. And so we actually went through a process of acknowledging ourselves in those stages of metamorphosis that a butterfly goes through. I mean, it is so amazing when you think about it that one creature, a crawling creature upon the earth, turns itself into a soup. I mean, literally dissolves itself and then recreates itself into something completely different that flies. Isn't that amazing? So when you think about metamorphosis in this way, you think about going from that crawling place to that resting place, to the cocoon, to the chrysalis. And that is really that period of time that we've been in the pandemic, whether we were, out working in the world or whatever our individual situations were, there was a collective experience of cocooning. There was a collective experience of the chrysalis, of this time of being in this place that is a resting place, but so much going on in that resting place, right? Things dissolving, old ways of being, turning into soup. And then a recreation, a rebuilding, a complete shape-shifting of who we are. So that has happened for us. And it's time now, I think, to pay attention to where we are, to ask ourselves, where are we in this process of metamorphosis? Dr. Wendy Sue Universe is this academic who breaks down science for kids. And I like to, go to the resources that break down things for kids. That's usually where I start with my understanding. And I just like the plain English that things are written in. And so she says this about the process. She says, caterpillars are born with everything they need to become butterflies. Bit by bit, she says, they unlock the information from their cells. And the butterfly's organs and wings and antenna and legs form in that chrysalis. So all of that is happening. What happened to us in our chrysalis? What happened to you in your 15 months of cocooning? What got formed there? Caterpillars have little bumps that are the beginnings of where the wings will come out. You might look in the mirror sometime soon and see if there might be a little something there, a little starter of these wings that we are growing as we emerge from this time. We, of course, are born with everything we need, just like the caterpillar, to transform, to metamorphosize into the fullest divine potential that we have come here to be. Bit by bit, it gets unlocked in our cells. Bit by bit, what is no longer needed dissolves away into that soup, and the divine intelligence of the universe begins to bring forth what is new, helps us to sprout our proverbial wings. So Marissa Strickland has this imagery, these paintings of what that might look like for us as a human. And it looks a little precarious, too. I mean, it's amazing. And then you think about it, that little just hanging there on that little branch, right? In this process of unfolding and unfurling and gaining our wings. So it might feel precarious to you right now. It might feel exciting. It might feel hopeful. It might feel overwhelming. It might feel, you might have this sense of great passion for where you are in your process of becoming all that you have come here to be. And all that we have come here to be together. Is when we're in this process, whether it's individually or collectively, when we've been immersed in this sort of cocoon of COVID, then we begin to maybe ask ourselves, what has changed? How have I changed in the last 15 months? What did I leave behind in that soup? What did I let go that I no longer need? How am I going from crawling now to flying? And it's lightening the load as part of that, right? Letting go of what no longer serves so that we can indeed move into the fullness of who we've come here to be, to fly. So we gather here with a sense of familiarity and a sense of something feels different. Do you feel that? And what that difference is not so much place, but what our community really is. It's us. The metamorphosis is carried in our own hearts, in our own spirits, and it's carried back to place. The place was here for us, always filled with our energy and awaiting us. I was starting to feel like it was starting to feel a little lonely, the energy here. You know, like, where are my people? Where are the hearts and the bodies and the minds and the spirits of my people? Well, they're home now. And you can feel the joy in the place, the awakening, the aliveness in the place. As that happens, you bring the energy. So as we come back together then, there will be maybe feelings of both, the sense of familiarity and the sense of, something is different. What is different in me is the question to carry with us. Who are we now as we emerge from this cocoon? And who will we be? I know this, as Daniel Nahmad sings, you are in the right place at the right time, just where you're supposed to be. And if we can know that in every moment of the way, every step of the way back to reuniting, because we're still in a process, aren't we? I think we're now, many of us collectively, maybe the wings are, coming out, but they're still wet. It's like we're not in that, like, let's just fly place yet necessarily. It's just kind of like checking out my new being, my new body, and seeing how this is going to go. So as we come back, though, as we come to this right place and the right time, here's what we need to know, regardless of how unfamiliar or new or familiar it might feel, that we are loved here, that we are celebrated here, that we are accepted here and welcomed here, no matter where we are on our journey, no matter where we are in our hearts, no matter where we are on our spiritual journey, no matter what condition we think we're in. We're welcomed and loved. In times of cocooning, there's a time of solitude, right? A lot of times we think of that when we think of cocooning, the withdrawing, the time of inner work, the time of solitude, and there's certainly a place for that for all of us. And during that time, there's recollecting, there's recentering, there's remembering, there's all those things that happen, maybe insights that come from spirit. And if you're an introvert like me, you really have to have those times, right? And even the extroverts, I think, would say they maybe need to have a little bit of that time anyway, to rejuvenate ourselves and to come back alive again, to feel that connection, to get quiet on the outside so we can hear on the inside. We have, do you know Brian Andreas? He's the artist of the Story People. Yeah, so we have a couple of his pieces, and one of them is just outside our bathroom door. So it's something that I often see in the morning, and it says, I've always liked the time before dawn because there's no one around to remind me of who I'm supposed to be. So it's easier to remember who I am. So there's that process that happens, right, in our authentic journey, in our who I am as a soul, in our connection process. And then I was introduced to the teachings of Sobonfu Somé, who some of you might know. She actually was living in California when she made her transition. She lived part of her time most recently in Sacramento, and then part of her time back in her home in Africa amongst the Dagari tribe for which she was a part, and she would often bring the spiritual teachings of the Dagari to people in the West. And one of the things she talks about is that in the tribe, nobody has to go apart to remember who they are, because the tribe itself holds that kind of space that reminds everybody who they are, that makes space to truly celebrate and accept and see the people. See them for who they are, what they bring, what their gifts are, what they're going through. And so there's never that feeling like I got to get away to recollect myself, to recenter myself, because it's in the midst of the community, in the midst of the circle and the tribe that happens, because you've got these witnesses that hold that kind of space all the time, that encourage, that call forth the best in you. And that is the vision I hold. It's the truth of who we are as a community, but we are too metamorphosizing, right? We too are in a process of becoming the fullness of what we can be. And so there's always more that we can open up to in that space, to encourage and to celebrate and to love and to accept one another. So here's a spin-off of that first quote that Brian shared, and it goes like this. I've always liked to be in the community with the kind of people who accept and celebrate me, so it's easier to remember who I am. So we also come here to remember. We also come here to feel the divinity in us. We also come here to remember the truth of who we are. This is the place where we gather when we're in person and the energy is here, which is so palpable to me right now. It's here that the love is present. And so it may be in our own quiet times. It's not an either or, but it's also this part of the walk, this part of the journey that's essential to so many. And really kind of it's built into our DNA as human beings. We, like it or not, we're social beings. And this is a part of how we move and how we grow and how we evolve and how we emerge into our butterfly selves. So if you could imagine, like in the Dogari tribe, I see it as it's one, right? We're not a public person and a private person. We're one person. We don't have one persona, one mask we put on, per se, or several masks that we put on. We're just ourselves. And so when you cross the threshold of this community, I hope you don't feel the need to put some kind of mask on, but to just cross the threshold as you were in the very most comfort of your home or wherever you came from, where you are most comfortable. In the presence of your very best friend, may you also be the same in the presence of this community. Because it's in that oneness of self that we really remember who we are and stop worrying about all the masks and facades that we carry in the proverbial way in life, right? In the metaphorical way in life. I'm looking upon many masked individuals right now, so I'm looking past the actual masks. But we are in a process, aren't we, of unmasking. We are in a process of, literally unmasking, and therefore figuratively, spiritually unmasking. And this is what I'm behooving us to do, This is what behooves us to do on our journey, is to unmask. To let the beauty of whatever is here in our hearts be seen. To take away the obstacles, to let them fall away. You don't have to take them away. The caterpillar just surrenders into the soup, just gives over into the process. And that's what we're asked to do on our spiritual walk, to give over, to allow ourselves to be. So are you ready? Are you ready to fully unmask all that you are in truth? Yes, yes, in this way too. And to express that true divine self that you are. Our community stands by, ready and welcome to hold that space for you. Eager to see you. I'm just thinking about this morning in the middle of the 9:30 service, Lisa was getting a hit to sing a different song. And it was, I am remembering who I am by Melissa Felipe. And she didn't have the notes with her or the music or anything, so she, just had to remember and look up some resources before she came up. But it is that remembrance of who we are, right? And it was a demonstration to me of authenticity, that she followed her heart. I don't have those notes with me, But it doesn't matter because my heart is telling me that something else is here. It's the same with our journey, isn't it? That, oh yeah, my, parents, school, whoever, world, society, advertisers told me I should be like this or look like this. But my heart is telling me something else. And that's the journey that we're walking. So the courage to break out into that, to be that, and to know that you are in a community that supports that, applauds that even, holds space for that, encourages that. It's key, isn't it? J.R. Miller is a Christian father figure of sorts, and he says this: "A true home is one of the most sacred of places. It is a sanctuary into which we flee from the world's perils and alarms. It is a resting place to which, at the close of the day, the weary retire and gather new strength for the battle and the toils of tomorrow. It is a place where love learns its lessons, where life is schooled in discipline and strength, where character is molded." So all of these things, these grand and glorious things, happen in the places that we consider sanctuary, with the people that carry the energy of that sanctuary. Monarch butterflies, they make their journey alone. They do the migratory journey pretty much alone. I mean, they're not clustered together, in other words. It's mostly an individual journey. And so too is, in many ways, our spiritual journey ultimately is, a track that we are taking alone. But not really, right? Because we always have around us somewhere this sense of community. And monarch butterflies, when they get to their destination especially, they cluster. You've maybe seen them if you've gone to a migration site, or you've seen pictures of them when just huge clusters, like beehives hanging off of trees. They're just enormous clusters. And they do that to protect themselves from predators, from wind. But they also cluster near the source of nectar. And so when we come together in community, it's the same, isn't it? We may take this individual spiritual journey, this migration from the beginnings of coming into the physical world as a physical being and learning all that's a part of that, and then remembering who we are. And then we have this cluster of community around us, and we all cluster around the source, the spiritual nectar, the place where we get fed, the place where we feel inspired, the place where we draw our strength. And we draw it then from one another. So we're very much like these beautiful butterfly friends. It's called a roost sometimes as well. So our reemergence process, very much like after 15 months of migration, we are coming back closer now into our cluster, closer to the source of the spiritual nectar that we gain from being in community. Yesterday, we chanted while we walked the labyrinth. This was we closed with a ritual of walking the labyrinth, and there were 41 of us, I think, gathered here. So 40 people on our labyrinth is a lot of people. And there were times where it was, really spread out and people had lots of space. I'd say about half or 3/4 of the labyrinth at one point had a lot of space, and we were all clustered in this one quarter. It was so interesting. And, I don't know how it was for everybody. I know 2 people said, "Oh, it's too much," and they, stepped aside and waited. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying just seeing the faces and the whole, the labyrinth is a metaphor for your spiritual walk. So to be walking together as a community and then be clustered in places just was more of this reinforcement of the coming together and the importance of coming together. So while we were witnessing one another and walking, we were chanting. And one of Michelle's friends, Melissa, actually took our intention for our time together and wrote this little chant, this song. So I'm not much of a song leader, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it so we can sing it or chant it together. I think you can see it on the front screens pretty good. Yeah, thank you so much. John just pulled that together about 10 minutes before service for me. They're magic back there, these guys. So here's how it goes. Alone in cocoons for far too long, emerging as butterflies. Together again where we belong, emerging as butterflies. Pollinated by love, able to transform, emerging as butterflies. Stronger together, we're now a swarm, emerging as butterflies. Isn't that lovely? We're now a swarm. I love it. We're going to work that into some affirmations coming up. Stay tuned. So one of the things that's happening in our process is not only are we unmasking, not only are we revealing the beauty and the magnificence of who we are in truth, even in our messy moments, we are also moving closer together physically, right? So obviously we don't have the physical distancing restrictions anymore. And so we move from that place of distance to closer, which is where we're getting now, and maybe even, as we wish, intimacy. Into me, see. It's an invitation when we're ready to let people see the truth of who we are, to let people see into our hearts, into our souls, what we have to offer. And as we create that safe space for that, that welcoming and encouraging space, more and more of us will feel more and more open, right? More and more willing to step in, to sing our soul song, if you will. Which is another piece to that song that Lisa was sharing, is Melissa Filippi, that song that she was remembering, I Am Remembering Who I Am, was Melissa's soul song. And so that song has really taken off in the New Thought movement. And I think, why do certain songs really take off? Well, when it comes from somebody's authentic soul expression, we can all resonate with that. And so as more that you show that truth of who you are, the more people will resonate with that and be fed by that. You yourself become the spiritual nectar. So, when we think about this intimacy, it's also the intimacy with a God within us, right? It's intimacy with the divine. So we are told in the Gospels that God counts every hair on your head. Isn't that incredible? That you are so known and so intimately loved that every hair on your head is numbered. 7.8 billion people, every hair on your head. Of course, that again, which is another symbolic idea, but that love and that knowingness is so deep. And so how well do we know the divine in us? How intimately do we know ourselves? It's a question for us to sit with, to ponder, to see if we could meet that intimacy. So if God, if the divine, if the Spirit in us and all around us sees us in that way, can we meet it and see ourselves and each other in the same way? Can we mirror that? That's what intimacy really is about, isn't it? So, when Brenly and I first got together 13 years ago, I had this vision really early on in our relationship. And it's hard to describe. It was like maybe, I don't know if other people do this. When you're meditating, if you have, a visual of being inside yourself. Does anybody ever? Yes. Okay. Some of you are nodding. Okay. I know we all have different experiences. So it was like that. Like I was looking out from within myself, but we were holding hands and we were looking at this one heart. And it was like we were just beginning this exploration of the heart together. And the heart was my heart. It was her heart. It was the heart that gets formed by where two or more are gathered. It was the heart within the divine heart. And so it's an image that I just offer to you as, whatever your image might be, of what does that look like to do that intimate walk toward the divine in you. Maybe it looks like that. And maybe the hands that you hold, take a look and see who's there. whose hands do you want next to you, walking on that journey of the heart? Maybe it's this whole community. Maybe it's a beloved. Maybe it's someone you're calling in. Maybe it's a best friend, a parent, a child, a grandchild. So just to consider who walks beside me on this spiritual walk, and remember that one, and remember the desire for this intimacy on the walk toward the divine, of the divine. And then we consider with that our commitments, right? Our commitment to divine love, our commitment to one another, our commitment to community, to relationship, and how that deepens then our walk. So during this time of the pandemic, I decided we should deepen our commitment. And so I asked Brenly to marry me. And she said yes. So this is part of, yes, thank you. Yes, we can take a moment to celebrate. Thank you. I didn't expect to say that, and especially not with her here, but that's okay. You kind of have a sense of her presence, or maybe I've presenced that a little bit. She's off with her nephew playing golf right now, so. But it's that, the point of that story is not only just to share that good news with you, but also, what is the commitment we make? What is the commitment we are making to ourselves, to our journey, to our divinity, to our emergence, to our winged selves, to the truth of who we are, to each other, to the people that we walk beside, to our community? We can only search our own hearts and know, but as we deepen that commitment, as we express that commitment, as we proclaim it, everything gets more supported. We get a more solid foundation through which we can walk forward together, or within together, or without into the world together, whatever it may be. I used to go fishing with my dad, and on Father's Day I'm thinking about him, and I didn't like to fish, but I went with him all the time, as much as I could. Whenever I had the opportunity, I said yes. And I didn't like the, putting a worm on the hook. In fact, I often would just go, Dad. And I didn't like, hooking the fish. I did like the casting and the reeling in. That was pretty cool. That was fun. It was, but then it was like the real thing on both ends, right? And it was, Anyway, sorry for those of you who love to fish on Father's Day. I appreciate what you do and what you enjoy. And I appreciated what my dad enjoyed. But to me, why did I go with him? Because I wanted to be in his presence. I just wanted to hang out with my dad. It was cool that it was on the water and a boat in nature, but I probably would have gone anywhere with my dad. If he said, you want to hang out in a cardboard box, I would have been like, yeah. So it's that kind of presence, I think, that we're in now as we come back to in community. It doesn't really matter what we do, honestly. Like today I was like, should I even give a talk? Should we just sit around and just share stories? Because it's about just being together. This is where we are now. We will rebuild. We will, expand. We will create and co-create, of course. We will collaborate. We will rebuild teams. We'll do all that stuff. But I don't feel like that's so important right now. It's just to be in each other's presence. We don't need to go fishing for anything. It's all right here. So on this summer solstice, in this divine light that we are bathed in the joy of summertime, in this reconnection and reuniting time, let's unmask our divine selves and let's truly reunite as a spiritual community. So I want to invite you to say that with me as our affirmation. Together, I unmask my divine self and reunite with my spiritual community. And so it is.
Well, welcome back, and thank you, Kristen, for that wonderful talk. It covered so many bases, and it just touched so many different aspects of our being in cocoon, opening up, what comes next, celebrating what was, leaving some behind, taking some with us. Who am I today? Who am I going to be? And all in this transition in the summer solstice, it was just very rich and gave us a lot to think about, especially from our heart space. So thank you for that.
Whether you have a joy or concern on your heart today, our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you during our virtual patio conversation and after the service.
You may also contact them by completing a connection card on the Watch Live page, or click on Prayer Request at the bottom of the home page. Our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week.
Now, let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Our spiritual home thrives with your continued generosity. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
We love getting your checks through regular mail or direct deposit from your bank, but there are also two ways to give online. Of course, you can press the donate button on the live page, and you can also download the Give app, spelled G-Y-V-E. And for those of you out there on the patio, we have a few people out there. There is a place to put in a donation in the basket, the white basket as well. So thank you for that.
I want to invite you to repeat our prosperity affirmation with me now. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes. A light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. You're here to be the one. You're here to make it fun. You've really got my head spinning. You brighten every room. You always leave too soon. And this is just the beginning. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. You are incredible, so unforgettable, the one that everyone's eyeing. You are an awesome friend, you're so magnificent, and there is just no denying. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you really are. Thank you.
Well, thanks to Suke Riley. Yeah, it was really nice to have her welcoming us home today, wasn't it? Yeah, so you can check out her music at sukeriley.com, I think. Just Sue, oh, there it is, okay, sueriley.com. Don't listen to me, look at the slide. So let's bless our offerings. Let's bless both the giver and the gifts themselves and this beautiful land and you beautiful people and just all the joy. Let's bring it all in as we bless our offering together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. All right. So if you are a father, if you identify yourself as a father, we'll let you self-identify, whatever that may mean. It might mean that you're a mentor. It might mean that you're a biological father or you raise children. So would you please stand as you are able, and we will bless you if you will allow us to do so. Oh, look at all the dads in the house. All right. And all of you online, I hope you will open your hearts to receive this blessing as well. Let's bless our fathers together. Fathers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. Yeah. Well, I reversed that. Sorry, guys. So the children are meeting right now, and we're going to bless them as well. And I believe, do we have something we're showing? Yes, we do. All right. Those guys are just like rolling with my disorderliness this morning. So let's take a look at Maddie and Millie's share.
Hi, Unity. It's Maddie and Millie. And with the Unity kids last week, we were learning about not to worry, right? And how to calm down when you're worrying, right? And we've made these worry monsters. Here's mine. And I used 2 little pom-poms and 2 other little pom-poms to make little feet and hands. And then I did some foam as a belly and 2 little bigger pom-poms as its and googly eyes, and some foam as its mouth, and some bigger pom-poms as its body. I used pipe cleaners for the arms and legs, and I made a little wand and mouth out of pipe cleaner. And I have a googly eye as the eye, and some pom-poms and feathers as wings. But you don't just need worry monsters to not worry, right? Yeah. You can also do breathing. Yeah, and we've learned one that's called birthday breathing. It's when you pretend that you have a birthday cake, and then you can blow out the candles, and it will help you relax. And we also learned about bumblebee breathing, right? Yeah. And you breathe in, and then you breathe out and go like a bee. And our last one is our favorite one, right? It's really fun. It's called bubble breathing. And you get to blow bubbles. Bye, Unity. Bye.
It's so fun having you all in here celebrating these things together. You know, usually there's 4 or 5 of us in here just oohing and eyeing over Maddie and Millie's videos. So thank you again, Maddie and Millie, and for the whole tribe that is our children's ministry, the youth, the teachers, and the children. Let's bless them all. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. As we move into our prayer of protection, you might want to bring into your mind and heart maybe a father or a father figure in your life that you want to just send some love to, maybe somebody who has provided protection to you in some way. And let's hold them in our hearts, or those many, maybe, who have served that role for you as we speak our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And now, our peace song. Joining with our friends on the patio too. Hello, hello. And to all of us, whether we're on the patio, in the sanctuary, or behind the camera, you are the light and the love and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine, have fun, and spread joy. Yay, we're back together. Thanks, everyone.